Alright guys, hey, how y'all doing? It's Jim out at Ruff Whitetails. Come out here to the deer pens, just kind of check them out and see how everybody's doing. We're gonna walk around and just make sure everybody's healthy, everybody's up moving around, and it's cold outside. You know, it's here in Alabama we don't get a lot of cold weather, but the last couple of days it's wind was blowing and it's been in the 30s. So those of you that in the north, don't hate on me too much, but this is the way it is here. We don't get too much cold. When that wind cuts you, man, it's colder than cold. So got some deer hanging out back here in the back. You can see them standing up back here, and they're just kind of chilling out by the fence, just watching me because I'm up here talking. But they're just kind of hanging out and enjoying this weather. They're up kind of stirring. They was actually bedded down when I got here, kind of crazy, but it is like 10:30 in the morning, so they're probably ready to sit down and take a break. So what I want to show you guys is we don't leave the horns on the deer in, like, say hunting season here in Alabama is from like October to February 10th now, I think. So we don't like leaving the horns on in a pen because safety. You know, you might have a buck in a pen beside the pen, and they might try to spar through the fence and get hung up. And you know, and ultimately, you know, you fear the worst on that. They might fight each other in the pen, in your buck pens. They might, as crazy as it sounds, wild deer show up. And they'll fight wild deer through the fence, and one or the other might, you know, hurt themselves. So what we got here is, the bucks that do have horns on them, when they're getting out of velvet and they want to scratch your head, they want to scratch that velvet off and stuff. I planted a cedar tree in here, and yes, it's dead, but I cut it down, got my tractor and an auger, and I dug a hole and planted it. Well, you can tell I planted a little late. This was last year, but I planted a little late because you see it's not straight up and down. When I got it in here, this thing was full bloom. I mean, it had everything on it. And then next thing you know, I come out here and Ringo, my big deer, had beat it down, rubbed it so hard that he got it pointed sideways. I'll step over here and give you a little better idea how crooked it really is. I mean, he got out there and rubbed, and when he rubbed, he packed the ground down around the base of it. So now when I come out here to move it, I was going to try to do it different, you know, pick it up and replant it, you know, this is a rubbing tree. Let me just get to that. But look, I mean, you could get that out with a tractor, front end loader or something, but he's got the bottom packed down where he was rubbing and putting his feet in the ground. He's got that thing in there. So what I did on some other ones is I just left them on the ground. And you can tell, not really now, I mean, it's kind of, but them things ain't got no bark on them. You can tell that they've been out here working on, you know. And what's crazy is they are hard on these trees, guys. And these are cedars, just wild cedars. They break the ends off. You'll see does out here eating on this stuff. It's a little crazy. The green on the cedars, believe it or not, deer eat that stuff. I was told that when I early in the deer farming, and I was like, if that was the case, you know, there wouldn't be a cedar tree in the woods because deer eat them all. But they eat up as far as they can reach, as crazy as that sounds. And I'll show you a tree over here, exactly what I'm talking about. But as you can see here, I got another one that I planted here. I got a big one laying here. And man, this one's been out here a couple of years now. This was like one of the first ones I put out here. And it's been tough to say the least. But you can tell right in here, I mean, Ringo, when he was 3 years old, and man, he had grooves in this thing, just looked like worm trails, but you could just tell it was gouges in them horns. He just got in there and just blended it up, and see all them sticks broke off in there. That's from getting in them tines and just clack, 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 just getting after it. So before I did all that, I had this grand idea to just come out here and put a fence post, a wood fence post, go to Tractor Supply and put a fence post out here. And it done what I thought they'd do. I mean, they rub on it, you can tell. You can tell they rub on it. But in the deer pens, they've got to have something to rub on, or they're going to find something. And with that being said, watching them there running around a little bit, I think there's a hot doe in here, and Ringo's after her. Might need to wrap this up, get out of here. I think he's chasing a hot doe, no kidding. That's another thing, another topic. Sometimes if your deer are not calm and they not friendly, you don't want to be in a bug pen or a breeder pen, anything during like the rutting. But this post here, you can tell what I'm talking about as far as a rubbing post, and that's what I'm talking about today, rubbing post. And they'll rub on your metal sheds. I've got 10 missing, and you flirt with disaster on that because they can skin themselves. They set up fuso, get an infection, something a little bit crazier than normal. So if you can see this, but if you look at that tree, that tree's be full bloom, it's top bottom. And then when I fence this area in, they eat that. And there was a couple of bucks that rubbed on that tree. You might can see it in this video here. But full bloom, and they eat that over time, not overnight, but like over a year. They picked at it. And you see that deer standing there. They get on there and lay. It's a little bit of shade for them, a little cover. But they, I don't know why, but they won't overeat. They're not like that. They're not like an old dog that if you put dog food in their bowl, they're going to eat it. They don't do that. You put feed in there, they're going to eat what they want. They're going to eat what they need, and they go on. They don't stand there and eat till it's gone. So, different times of year, they're like people. They eat different. They eat more in certain times of year. They eat less in certain times of the year. Get around the mud here. I wore my tennis shoes out here. So I fed like on Tuesday. It's Saturday right now, and I put 2 50-pound bags of that 16-point buckwind, and they still got plenty to get them through the next day. Maybe that might be a good day's worth of feed. But also put a salt block out, and these does. My whole nother video. I'm getting off subject, but I'll try to talk about that. Give me a reminder, I put a salt block out, mineral block, to help them does out. And believe it or not, guys, I'll make a video on that. But all you hunting guys, putting your mineral blocks out and your salt blocks, I'm not going to say that bucks won't lick it or eat it. But in this pen of mine, I put a mineral block or a salt block out every year during breeding season. And I have yet to see with my own eyes a buck lick that salt block. Now, I have seen a buck walk by it, sniff it, interested, and walk away. But I have never seen a doe, or a buck. I have never seen a buck lick that salt block. Now, I've seen does wear it out, and it's only during breeding season. It's only during Christmas time area. So November from then on when they're being bred. So, guys, we'll make a video on that. But I appreciate you watching. I hope you got a little interest out of that, and it might help you along the way in your hunting episodes. So I appreciate you guys. Hit like and subscribe. I'm going to keep doing these videos. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.